Well, hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies Listen Up. This time around, it's story time. Remember, we started reading Table for One. Well, we're going to get off into our book by Cameron Courtney. It is time. I told you all we're not going to do like we did for when we did Iyanla last year. Man, we left Iyanla hanging. Sorry, Iyanla. We're going to come back to in the meantime. But right now, this is the season. It's the fall season, and the leaves are coming in, and it's all beautiful outside, all the pretty colors. And this is a time where ladies, if you are single, such as myself, you could get a little bit lonely, but there are so many wonderful things to be able to discover in this time. This is a time of self discovery. So I'm really learning how to not get into, thinking about the grass being greener on the other side, but just enjoying the grass that is on my side. And so I just want to encourage you ladies today, or encourage all of us sisters, girls, to be, to understand that this is a beautiful time that we can really, really, like for real, not just saying it so, it sounds good, but really, really embrace ourselves and get to know ourselves. I'll let you in on just a little bit of a secret. So I was thinking I love massage, right? And so when you can't always get out to go get a massage, and if you don't have a significant other, there is a massager, ladies, and I do mean massager. I mean for massage, like really, really for real. But I took that massager out, and I've had it for almost, it's not hasn't been quite a year. Used it maybe once or twice or something. But I used that massager last night. I all down my shoulders. I used it down my legs. It relaxed me. And when you are a table for one, you can, just spread out all over the bed if you want to, or put your fluffy pillows in there. You have your comforter. You have, and I'm not saying that it's nothing that takes the place of a big old strong man, but I'm saying that you can enjoy your time this season, and really, really become the best you possible by getting to know yourself. Then when you do enter into a relationship, you can bring your best self, right? So every day we're getting better and better. So this is the time I just make this conscious decision to enjoy it and to enjoy my season of a table for one. So without further ado, wait, let me take a sip. Thank you, Tatiana, for my mug. You see, I'm using it. I love mugs and I love tea. Let's take a sip before we get started. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Don't forget, I always forget. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. One of your sister girls needs to know. We've been talking about money on the other side, on the other episodes, and in the other playlists. You know what? But today, I don't want to talk about money. Today, in order for me to really, really get a grip, sometimes you gotta let go and just say, okay, give myself a breather and a break. So we're gonna talk about, let's just do the introduction for today, and then we'll start reading through it, give you all the opportunity to grab a copy if you want to get a copy of the book. But here we go. Let's talk about this. Uh-oh, guess what? Mm-hmm. Sexy specs, right? All right. This book was very interesting when I picked it up. So, all right, it says for the introduction, life usually doesn't turn out the way we think it will. This book, for example, I was originally supposed to write it with a coworker of mine, Ginger. Actually, it was her idea. See, sometimes that happens. Okay, I'm not going to commentary through the book. Let's just read it. Let's just get through it, right? Working in Christian publishing, we've seen our fair share of Christian single books over the years, and to be honest, we've been less than satisfied with the selection. The bulk seemed to be solely about finding the love of your life, as if that's the sum total of the single life, or were written by middle aged married male psychologists. Nothing against this genre as a whole, but what do they know about being youngish, single woman in today's world? Ginger and I would occasionally joke that we should write that kind of gusty, girly book we'd want to read if it appeared in our box. Hmm. Then one day Ginger proposed that we do just that. It didn't take much for our brainstorming juices to flow, and several meetings at several different coffee shops later, we eventually had an outline. then a full-blown proposal. And we finally got a Christian publishing company interested. When interested, wouldn't you know it, Ginger, on again, off again boyfriend of 6 years finally saw the light and asked her to be his bride. Yeah, for her. Yay for her. Nay for the publisher. Having one of the authors be married kind of went against the main reason we wanted to add another book to the slim single section at the local Christian bookstore. One of Ginger's last acts as a single woman was telling me to carry on without her, not marrying until not marrying until age 32. She still believes strongly in spreading the message of happy, full-bodied singlehood. So I retooled the book as a solo act, a different publisher bit, and now you're holding the end result. In the end, Ginger became a wife, and I became an author. What what's cool is that both of us couldn't be happier. It's not like she won first place and I got the boopy prize, though there was a time in my life when I would have seen it that way. Okay, sorry y'all, but I gotta stop right there. There was a time, exactly, because everybody acts like, the single life is just this whole dreaded, like, plague of something or another. Why can't it be a fun, enjoyable time where you really get to do self discovery and, like she did, she accomplished it. She finished her book and she got it published. Beautiful book, right? She got it finished, she got it published. So it's all in a state of mind. So let's get back to it, okay? That was also a time. That was also a time when I found myself alone in a Blockbusters on a Friday or Saturday night. I feel compelled to look like I was picking out a flick for me and my hot date, who I was meeting up with later in the evening. I'm not sure I ever achieved that pre-date look by being fully primped and checking my watch frequently. I was supposed to be meeting him later and get it. But somehow between then and now, I've become very comfortable having me night. Now I bound into Blockbuster in sweats and a baseball cap, selecting a flaming chick flick or a subtitle artistic film with a nair of care in the world that others may suspect I'll be watching my selection while snarfing, snarfing a lean cuisine dinner, sprawled on my living room floor alone, and love every minute of it. Why the change from self-conscious single girl to I am single, hear me roar woman? Over the past several years, I've learned some valuable lessons about going solo in their paired off the world. I'm sorry, in this paired off world, not the least of which is that a happy, successful, God pleasing life comes in many different packages. And contrary to what our churches, merry friends, society, nosy Aunt Margie may tell us, that includes singleness. Ginger's married, Ginger's marrying the love of her life in a major woohoo moment. But then so is fulfilling my lifelong dream of becoming an author. That's the whole point Ginger and I wanted to make in the first place, that there's a whole lot more to life than one's marital status. This is the lesson I've learned along the way. Wow, wow. There's some more to the introduction, but I think, well, no, let's just keep going. How about that? That was pretty good, right? All right. See, this is the time that I like to just kick back and give myself a few minutes and let's enjoy this together. The one who got away. 6 years ago, I suffered the worst heartbreak of my life. I'd been dating Andrew off and on for 3 years, and I knew we needed to move forward in our relationship or move on. Despite the fact I'd met him at church on Valentine's Day, that he made me laugh and feel beautiful, that he loved God and his family, I still felt uncertain about moving toward marriage with this terrific guy. I asked married friends what they felt before they got hitched. They all responded with some rendition of, I just knew he was the one, a feeling cons- conspicuously absent. Oh, okay. Let me stop reading on, okay? A feeling conspicuously absent in all my thinking and overanalyzing. I even met with a Christian counselor who confirmed I wasn't a commitment phobe. I pleaded with God for direction. And when I was met with silence and a lack of peace for months on end, I slowly, excruciatingly let the relationship go. Ooh, that's a hard one right there. Without a tangible reason for the breakup, it's been easy for me to question the wisdom of my decision over the past 6 years. There was no irreconcilable differences, or I wanted kids and he didn't type of issues to blame. Only a vague sense that God said no. I've altered between seasons of peace, which thankfully have grown much longer over the years, and seasons of warning, trust in God, in God's grand plan. I haven't been obsessing, just wondering what to do with the nagging question mark in the back of my mind. Was that really God leading? Hmm. Well, God has his way of helping me deal with that question. I was on a shopping excursion a couple of summers ago when I saw Andrew across a trendy furniture store. There was a woman with him. Even though I hadn't seen Andrew in more than 2 years, I failed to muster the courage to walk over and say hello. Later, kicking myself for being such a chicken, I chatted with God about this about this chance encounter. Were you wanting us to get back together, God? Was it just bad timing before? That what if crept in big time. I prayed once again for peace and direction. I could count on one hand the number of guys I dated in the 6 years since the breakup. When I let Andrew go, I'd assumed there would be someone even better waiting around the next corner. When that didn't prove true, I began to doubt my decision and God's apparent leading. I remember telling God it would almost be a relief to know that the woman in the furniture store was Andrew's wife. That would put the maddening question to rest once and for all. Well, about 6 months later, I had another chance encounter, this time with a woman from a Bible study. We were chatting about work when she casually mentioned she knew Andrew. She'd even dated him briefly. She still saw him on occasion at work and knew he had just got married a few weeks before. I stood there in stunned silence, an odd mixture of grief and peace washing over me, feeling the clarity of a closed door and the loneliness of an empty horizon all at once. Yet I was amazed at the way God had orchestrated this answer to my prayer. While it wasn't a confirmation that the past decision to let Andrew go, was absolutely God's will, it gave me peace with which to look to the future. And I learned something that all we can do for hope. And I'm sorry, let me read that again. And I've learned sometimes that's all we can hope for. Learning of Andrew's marriage was a difficult yet unmistakable reminder that God's in control. Breakups and weddings, what ifs, and answers to prayers. And someday, if it's his plan, the arrival of Mr. Right. God once again proved he's there, listening, caring about my future, and this truth will be welcomed company whenever my expectations for the future are not met or met. Would you like help with all the baggage? One of the things I One of the things I did after the demise of my relationship with Andrew was remain in counseling. Somehow God opened my tear-drenched eyes enough to see that all of us fallen human beings can come with issues. Since I suddenly had Lots more free time on my hands. It seemed as good a time as any to tackle these issues. With the help of my wonderful Christian counselor, Linda, together Linda and I, who didn't marry until the age of 29, and I looked at my childhood, my family, my people pleasing tendencies, my expectations for love or for life, God's role in all of this, and so much more. In 1 hour increments over the months and years that followed, I began to see myself and my erroneous thoughts about marriage and singleness more clearly. I began to make peace with my disappointments, my expectations, and my God. Slowly, I began to stand on my own 2 feet, learning or leaning on God's grand plan for my life, trusting Him, trusting His will over my own thoughts and schemes. Finally, the day came when I realized I emerged single, strong, unashamed, at least more days than not. Once I'd made peace with my singleness, I was free to embrace it and all the opportunities that came along with it. One of the best of these opportunities was becoming the single columnist of a ChristianToday.com singles channel. While part of me wanted to bolt from the dubious honor of being a spokesperson for singleness, the rest of me was intrigued at the prospect of becoming single woman. What's cool is that God blended one of my greatest loves, writing, with one of my greatest struggles, my singleness, and created something that blessed my socks off. Over the past year and a half, I've written a lot about the single life, some of it included in these pages of this book, and heard from and heard from countless single people like you. One of the themes of the emails I've received about my column is the sentiment, you struggle with that too. I thought I was the only one. It's so nice to know that I'm not alone. As they say, misery loves company. But for these readers, I've also learned that joy, quirkiness, and celebration of love company too. Wow. I know now that whole bunch of us struggle with whom to invite to the Christmas party, sing, and dance spontaneously when home alone. Try on men's last names before the first date and have lonely seasons and I love being single seasons. That's another main reason I wanted to write this book, to shed light on the fact that though at times we might be lonely, we're not alone. There are a bunch of us out here fumbling our way through making the most of our singleness. When we open up and share the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of singleness with each other, we all benefit and move toward stronger and more savvy singleness. This book is a compilation of the lessons I've learned from chats with God, my single girlfriends, counseling sessions, readers of my single column, and a whole bunch of trial and error. I pray it will send you on an amazing journey towards well-rounded, full-body singleness. Wow, that was amazing. And lastly, what if? One of the best lessons I've learned in all my thinking, wrestling, and growing as a single woman is the danger of playing the what if game. What if I miss the man I was supposed to marry? What if I never find the love of my life? What if I marry a Mr. Close Enough? These questions rarely lead to anything productive, but amazingly enough, when I was in the throes of writing this book, they did. Wallowing in my self doubt one day, I may be happy, but I'm still human, and and musing on the dubious humor of being a single book author. Does that mean I'm an expert at singleness? I toyed with the latter of these 3 questions. What if I had married Mr. Close Enough? What if I lived? What if life had taken the course I'd expected? That I'd meet Mr. Right in college, marry shortly after, start making babies in my late 20s as I pictured my life in the alternative university. I wonder if I would have pursued my lifelong love of writing as early and with as much gusto. I thought back to the little girl I once was, attempting to become the youngest book author at age 6. During my fascination with the Guinness Book of World Records phase and creating my own newsletter for my sixth grade class, and wondering if that part of me would have gotten lost in wifehood and motherhood. What dreams would I have what dreams would I have put on hold or given up altogether for the brand of success, for that brand of success? What if indeed? So last year on Valentine's Day, instead of singing a gushy love letter to a soulmate, I signed a contract to write a singles book. And within weeks of turning 30, instead of giving birth to a little bundle of joy, I birthed my first book manuscript. This is the life with which God has blessed me. Instead of questioning his timing and wisdom, I've learned to celebrate each woohoo moment with all the gusto I can muster. Life may not have turned out the way I thought it would, but I'm learning that sometimes this is a tremendous blessing. Wow, I think we can just from the introduction, I can't wait to dive deeper into this book. The thing that I just love is that when she talk about, the alternative path, see, one of the things that I'm just so fortunate and blessed to be is that I've been able to, well, and having my children at a younger age, I'm still, one of my daughters said, well, Mom, I'm glad that you're still, young enough that we can enjoy each other at an adult level. And I think that is amazing because my youngest is 27. And so it is an amazing time that I'm able to, really enjoy my children and roll on the floor with my grandchildren, but I'm also able to stay blind or focused on what it is that I want. And, this is a journey of learning what it is that you want. I think it's a time that it's okay to be just, I don't think it's selfish. I think it's being self-centered, but focused and self-centered. So I hope this is going to be a fun journey for you as it's already turning out to be for me, a time for me to pull away from everything and just really spend this time enjoying this book is called The Table for One, right? So we'll do other books and everything together, but I hope you will see fit to join our book club and we can just learn from one another. All right, until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're doing some different things over here on the Oasis Wellness of Life channel. It is the overall wellness of life, and that means our mind, body, or spirit. And don't forget, on the other side, we're talking about our money. All righty, bye for now, and stay fearless.